for you as a general evaluator. That we'll have to take into consideration very seriously, because when you take a role as general evaluator, you learn about critical thinking and analyzing, organization skills, time management, motivational and team building skills, effective listening skills and leadership skills, communication, language, how to use the word without hurting other person's feelings, the simple words, understanding words, and evaluating to motivate. That is most important. Evaluate to motivate. And that is one important aspect in general evaluation. When it comes to general evaluation, I would like to say even individual evaluators who are coming as evaluators to speak, evaluate the speeches, yes, they also need all these skills, and they will gain these skills when they do the. Now, when opening, we'll have to give the purpose of the general evaluation. That's what I'm going to do as a general evaluator. The purpose of general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, we'll have to take notes if it is necessary, everything that happens and that did happen also. Why it didn't happen, we'll have to point out. If it could have happened, it would have added great impact to the meeting, etc. Evaluate each participant on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm in the meeting, and observation, and the passion for Toastmasters and activities, and performance of duties like the timer, coming up with creativity, table topic masters coming out with creativity. Everything will have to be noted down by the evaluator, the general evaluator. At the end of the meeting, we'll have to give my report. This is the opening remarks that you say, greetings, Madam Toastmaster or Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and yes. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. This is what we will say at the beginning when the general evaluator is introduced at the beginning of the meeting by the Master of Ceremonies. So please, this you can make note. I'll share the screen all of the itself for you. So now today we had our meeting. The meeting started slightly late today, and I think it is due to some technical failure of the president in the opening the meeting, etc. The sergeant at arms had glitches. His internet was going off and coming on. So that could have been avoided if we were prepared and tested the technological aspects of the meeting. Nevertheless, the sergeant at arms had enough announcement to make. He completed his announcements, and those announcements were wonderful, I would say. He has picked up a lot of announcements, even which I was promising to give. All have been picked up by him from somewhere. Somebody has given him, and it was a wonderful job the sergeant at arms did today, and introduced the president so well that giving the tempo of starting the meeting for the president to suit that introduction what is being given, and the president took control of the meeting. He conducted the business session very aptly with officers' reports, and all other parliamentary procedures were followed in adopting agenda and adopting the minutes, reading minutes, etc. So let us give a thunderous round of applause for the president and the sergeant at arms who did a marvelous job. Now, before the meeting, when you come in the general evaluation, you have to see whether the room was ready, equipments were there, whether this is for the Cavaliers here, whether Toastmasters were punctual, how many were attending, and how many participated in the theme of the meeting, where the guests welcomed upon arrival, where the guests briefed on the meeting agenda and structure. This is to be done, and before you notice, before you come for the meeting, after you come for the meeting, just before the meeting, observe all these things. Now today in our meeting, we should say this is a Zoom meeting. Our venue is not a concern. But even the Zoom was ready. The members who are supposed to start the meeting were present. President was there to start the meeting, and all the other officers who could be present they were there. And the participants, whoever could participate, they were in the meeting. That's a good sign of the start for the meeting. Now, this I have already covered in my first remarks of the meeting itself, that President delay and the announcements were made. Did the Toastmasters gather quickly and quietly when asked to? Yes, this is physical meeting aspect, but even in Zoom, whether the members were ready and present and alert when the meeting started, and whether they were responsive, whether the camera was on. Yes, I saw, noticed in our meeting today. Although the participants were very limited, that's one concern we have in our club. But whoever was participating in that meeting were very actively participating, and they were ready to do their roles and speeches. And that's the plus point for a meeting to be successful. This I have already covered, but I will share this the slides for you all, for you and everybody to know. This is one of the things that I covered in my opening remarks. Briefly describe the theme of the day for the Master of Ceremonies. Yes, it did definitely describe the theme of the day. There was no joke session for us for this meeting as well, because of the workshop. I think we have not included that. But nevertheless, we'll have to make a note of it, whether the joke session was okay, acceptable for the audience who were present, etc. Will have to be remarked or taken down in the notes. Were the introductions professional and innovative? Were any issues brought up? If so, were they handled appropriately according to the parliamentary procedures? This is one thing we'll have to make note during the business. Was the induction ceremony well conducted, in case if there was an induction ceremony from the Vice President membership? Was the agenda followed smoothly? How were the speeches? Were the Toastmasters enthusiastic and participating? So these things that during the meeting you will have to observe all these things. And here again, the rules where you want to comment, make note of all these things. Now today, after the presidential business session was closed, after the announcements were made about the payment, etc., then the Master of Ceremonies took control, and Master of Ceremonies introduced the General Evaluator, and General Evaluator introduced his role, what he's going to do. That's by myself. And then the meeting proceeded with the prepared speeches. Now, in this one were the players, role players prepared, timer, stopwatch, and cards. Here we go by the virtual screen that has to be taken note of. Grammarian word of the day was displayed, whether explained properly, whether the word of the day was published in the chat time to time, or shown, word of the day was shown in the screen, etc. You can make note of. Was the break within the time limit? Did the Toastmasters socialize? How was the mighty minute? Was the table topic master prepared with theme-related and innovative topics? Did the table topic master explain the purpose of and in the table topic session? Now coming to the table topic master, yes, the table topic master is a very experienced Toastmaster. He's a distinguished Toastmaster now, and he brought up the topics that was very reasonable and attainable and speakable topics. And all the commentators, they commented on the topics, and he did a marvelous job. Having said that, I think we could have added one more topic. I think we had only 3 speakers to talk about 3 topics. We could have given one more topic in this meeting, I thought, because we had only 2 speeches. We could have given a little more time for table topics, or somebody who did speak in the meeting could have given an opportunity, if at all, if possible. Timer's job, yes, he did a marvelous job. The timer was showing the green, amber, and yellow card according to the timings that was given, and he explained the timing criteria very well at the beginning. Also, how he is going to display and how he is going to time, and each and every role was timed. He gave the evaluators timing, table topic commentators timing, and the speakers timing. So all these are covered in this one, and in our meeting also today, we did not notice any flows. Now this one I have covered, but just I will go through just for the sake of for everyone to know the Toastmasters, the opening remarks about the venue, equipment, attention, and theme, food, etc. Timers, report for speeches, and table topics. This is the order of the format. When you do a general evaluation, the order of the format is the opening remarks about the venue, equipment, attendance, theme, food, etc. That the theme, up to theme, it is yes, virtual, physical, everything will cover. Food, etc. will cover in the physical, so that you'll have to in the opening remarks you have mentioned. Then you take the timers report for speeches and table topics. Now I will go ahead with the timers report for the our speeches and table topic commentators. Timer, can you please give me the timing for the speeches and the table topic commentators?
Thank you very much, General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters and the welcoming guest. General Evaluator, for the speakers, prepared speech. Toastmaster Zaid Zubair, 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Second speaker, Toastmaster Hanis Harun, 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Followed by table Muhammad, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Second speaker, guest Mr. Sajid, 1 minute and 40 seconds. Third speaker, Toastmaster Nalif, 1 minute and 17 seconds. Table topics, 3 speakers are qualified. Prepared speech, second speaker, he exceed the time. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, timer. So nobody except the first speaker, other than others all qualified, right?
Yes, prepared speeches, second speaker, he exceed the time.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. And then I would like the first evaluator to give the evaluation, Toastmaster DJ Faraz. You can spotlight.
Sure.
Yes, Toastmaster Qasim.
Yes, since I'm a timer, someone going to take the timing?
I will.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and the guest. Today, my speaker, he take his opportunity to deliver his understanding of communication styles. He put himself to identify the barriers and the what's the gaps, how the communication can improve. These all adapted in his speech, and he delivered it. He delivered the speech in a hierarchical order, the way I mentioned that all the 3 elements. Each and every element he kept 3-4 examples and put it. When you come to the communication style, is mostly perfect that day-to-day activity, whatever you any small scenario or story on that, where he can demonstrate the implementation of his communication style, where he has to be identify the different communication style and he has to identify his unique communication style. If that part could be adapted within his speech, that will be more sparking for the audience. When you come to the speaking part, always the speeches has to take his priority to stand up and deliver the speech where he may not have, because since the virtual meeting, he was just very close to the camera and he is attached so close to the screen where we don't have any body languages except of his eye contact and some movement of his hands. It has to be considered for the future speech. He has to develop and deliver his speech in a very professional manner where we will have a very effective virtual meeting. Everybody can be energetically enjoy that. And he has to get more practice on the speech, because since it is a communication style, it is one of the main core part of the Toastmasters program where speakers are developed and the communicators are developed. And this one of the main project, he has to work more hard to be improve the impact where he can show as more importance to the audience about this speech. If I wanted to give a summarize, he well craft his speech with hierarchical order, with all the elements, what are the barriers and how it can be come over to that. But if we could have been adapt some story to that to be spark the speech, and surrounding area he is to arrange the virtual meeting, standing and delivering the speech, that will be more perfect. We look forward him to the success and back to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Qasim, for that valuable feedback. Now I would like to invite the evaluator for the second speaker. May I have the evaluation for the second evaluator, please? DTM Faraz, can you spotlight him?
Done. Go ahead, Toastmaster Abdullah.
Toastmaster Abdullah, yes, you are on the spotlight, please.
Yes. Thank you, General Evaluator. My speaker today, in particular, he's very precisely select a subject or a topic that was at the correct time, as the month of Ramadan is heading, said by the Master of Ceremonies. Just we are 23 days away from the holy month of Ramadan. It was a brilliant move by the speaker by selecting the topic at the correct time. Started his speech by a wonderful quote, "Let us refresh ourselves." He started his speech by a wonderful quote, "Let us refresh ourselves." Indeed, as mentioned in the Holy Quran, and remind, for reminding truly benefit believers. The speaker engaged the audience with interesting content by adding scientific side of the fasting. But at the same time, the speaker missed the spiritual benefits of fasting. He didn't mention it, especially when you are presenting or he's presenting in front of a specific religion. But it was, if it was in front of a multiple religion audience, then it would have been somehow acceptable. But what is the spiritual benefits? As again mentioned in the Holy Quran, to learn self-restraint. So the spiritual benefits and the rewards promised by our Lord Almighty, the door of Ar-Rayyan for the fasters, and those parts were missing in the speech. Other than that, the scientific side, it was very wonderful. His spoken language was clear and easily understood, appeared to be comfortable with the audience, but also needs to be improved on the physical gestures as a tool to enhance speech and eye contact. And it was just like reading from the slides. A wonderful closing with the words, again, let us all get ready for this. Overall, I recommend the speaker to note these things and repeat the project, because he haven't completed the project within the time limit. So I would like to recommend him to keep these notes and to repeat the project. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah, for the constructive feedback. Now let us have the timing for the individual evaluators, please. Toastmaster Qasim.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters and welcoming guest. The first evaluator took the time 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Second evaluator took the time 3 minutes. Back to General Evaluator.
Both are qualified, right? Thank you very much. Give another round of applause for the timer for having done a great job in keeping accurate timing for all the speakers and commentators. Let us go for the ballots. Are we calling for ballots?
General Evaluator, in our ballots, we have the role players and assignees as well. So it would be best if it is at the end of the general evaluation.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we need to. Yes. Now we have introduced that. Thank you very much for reminding that distinguished Toastmaster for us. Now coming to the assignees. From the beginning, the Master of Ceremonies has been doing a great job. The introductions, he has picked up a very nice introductions for the assignees, and he was saving the time managed basis from the beginning and also keeping on the theme very alive from time to time. Also reminding us about the spiritual part of it as well. And also the table topic master, as I said earlier at the beginning, he did a marvelous job coming to the topics selection and for conducting actually the explanation about the table topics and why the table topics is all about. And it was well done. Your round of applause to distinguished Toastmaster for having done a marvelous job. Evaluators, both the evaluators did a great job giving feedback. And for the speakers, yes, I would like to recommend the speakers to stand up and use the possible gestures and body movements and usage of the stage area so that you will not get stagnated using one spot speaking even when you come into the physical meetings. This will be a good chance for you to watch your own speech while you are speaking, how you are, what your movements are, how whether it is purposeful, etc. It will help to improve further and further your gestures, body language, and stage movement, etc. So please, that's a strong recommendation for the speakers. And time management for the second speaker. Yes, it had enough ample information to say the slides could have been even in these slides. I would say we can go for reducing, but in those slides, so much of information to put in one slide and speaking about it will take a lot of time. So when we are presenting certain things, we have to, in each slide, how much time we are going to spend. That must be judged. Then you will be able to control within the 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you will be able to finish the speech. So that formula you will have to always practice. In one slide, how much time you are going to speak, so that you will be able to distribute the 7.5 minutes accordingly and then do the slides in that way. That will be very easy. So that's why the Toastmasters International recommends maximum 3 to 5 or 6 slides will be very much adequate. The timer so far, as timer has done a great job and he has completed his part of the job. There are 2 more assignees which I will call for after the general remarks from my side. Today the meeting went on very well. Everything perfect. There was no flow of flop in the meeting. All of us have performed very well. So far, the meeting has been very professional. Behavior and the dress code, yes, we have still time to improve upon the dress code, especially when we are taking up role players, signees, etc. It is better. One more thing I would like to recommend, as I discussed with the Toastmaster Abdullah, let us all come up with our own professional club background with our club banner, like ABC, BET, that, and all this Sri Lanka Club Symposium. Everyone have come up with this virtual background for our own club with the word or the motto, etc. And the banner, club banner is on one side, so that we all will feel that we are in our club meeting. And the group photo also will look really great with everyone having the same uniformed club background. So that's one other recommendation which I would like to make. With that, I would like to call the grammarians report. DTM for us, can you spotlight him so that I can see that?
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. The word of the day, it's a noun, so the usage is as expected, a little less. However, to go with the theme, we selected the word of the day, but very less, apart from myself and Toastmaster of the day. I couldn't hear anything. But the quotes are flourishing everywhere. I started from myself during the presidential address and followed by Toastmaster of the day, then speakers. Everyone use quotes, the language standard average, and it's British Asian mix. I would like to say the style, and that's all from my side. General Evaluator, back to you.
Although the screen was showing the word of the day, I think the usage of the word of the day was little less cornerstone. Yes. Let me go for the R counters report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Assalamu alaikum once again. Here is my counter report, starting from the speaker, Toastmaster Sayed Zubair. He had 2 R's, 3 and 1 so in his speech, and 2 M's during his officer's report as well. Toastmaster Hanis Harun had 25 R's and he has used 2 times the in his speech. During table topic session, Toastmaster Shuraik had no filler words, and myself used 3 times and used 1 time I mean. And of course, our guest had few R's, but since I was listening to his speech first time, I could not count it. And DTM Ahmed Rizvi had 4 times during his general evaluation, and Toastmaster Shuraik had 1 time as in grammarian reports, and Toastmaster Muhammad Qasim and Toastmaster Abdul Majid had no fillers. That's all from my part. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
So much counter. I do not want to conclude before I just show this screen for you all to read around, but only to add speech evaluation if an evaluator did not provide relevant and motivating assessment highlighting a speaker's strengths and offering specific ideas for improvement. In case if an evaluator miss out to mention anything, the general evaluator is supposed to say that what is to be added to in addition to the evaluator's evaluation. corrections if required to the evaluators. If the evaluators have given some wrong evaluations, to the general evaluator has the obligation and right to correct that, and prior to the meeting offer to help and clear any doubts from the individual evaluators. Throughout the meeting, keep an eye on the time to make sure the meeting follows agenda timings. Ensure that you are knowledgeable about all meeting rules. This helps you to decide how to judge a role player's performance. While thinking critically, remember to speak in a positive tone and to inspire and not demotivate. So that will be almost the conclusion of the workshop. I have just given the format and what are the duties and what are the skills a general evaluator gains and general evaluator trains, etc. The goal is not to be perfect by the end. The goal is to be better tomorrow. So this is the saying by Simon Sinek. So let us all follow this format. The slides which I have, I will share it with our president, who can share it with the members, and we will follow the same format. One format which I would like to mention, one important aspect is keep the R counters report even after every concluding remarks, etc. Then one sentence at the end to closing remarks, a quote or something, and then hand it over to the Toastmaster of the team. After the R counters report, better not speak anything for you to have that feeling, etc. in the report. So this is the general evaluation plus the workshop and today's meeting. I have seen both the grammarian and R counter has done a great job. Now let us go for the balancing of role players as well as the speakers and the tabletop commentators. While we are voting, I would like to hand control back to the Toastmaster of the day, the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Abdul.
We have received the, for us, we have received the result, not the vote.
Since you are a co-host, you will be seeing this. Let me just
Oh, okay.
remove you. Can you see now?
Yes.